else already knows this, but is his consecration and his ordination?
Well, he's done the necessary, that's all I can say. Yeah, the necessary has been done.
This is Anthony Pato Radtrad, and I wanted to share this video that I came across of Father Chazal, and I found it quite fascinating. Because in this video, he basically says that Archbishop Vigano is a bishop of the resistance, and that he has been conditionally consecrated, I'm assuming by Bishop Williamson. So I just found this fascinating. I don't know if anybody's mentioning this, but it seems that that Bishop Vigano has been conditionally consecrated, is working with the resistance, works closely with Bishop Williamson, he'll say in this video. And then I guess now they may have 8 bishops with the resistance. I don't know. I find this a little bit fascinating, to be honest. Father Shale's a little bit sheepish, I guess, when concerning the question of his being consecrated, because maybe this is not meant to be super public, but yeah, definitely that looks like what's happening here. And I would be surprised if it did not happen. It sounds like that's what he said happened, but for the resistance to speak of him in this manner, to even work with him, I can't imagine them working with Bishop Vigano if he wasn't conditionally consecrated to be a valid and true bishop, that the resistance would even work with such a man. They're not like the SSPX, which works with Bishop, quote unquote, Bishop Hunder. They actually conditionally ordain and conditionally consecrate because they reject the new rites of Paul VI. So the fact that he's working with them says everything we need to know. So I just found this interesting. I think you guys would find this video interesting. He talks a little bit about Bishop Vigano and what he has going on with the resistance. So I'll let you guys just listen to some of the clips here and what he's saying, but I wanted to just put this out there. I thought this was interesting, that it looks like Archbishop Vigano seems to have been conditionally consecrated. I'm assuming by Bishop Williamson, since they apparently hang out a lot. So just enjoy the clips. Ave Maria.
Sorry to go back to Bishop Vigano again.
Yes.
Did I understand correctly that he's actually a bishop of the resistance?
Yes.
So has he made some sort of declaration?
Doesn't need to. He needs to agree with our position. That's all he needs.
So how are we to know that he actually agrees with our position and doesn't hold with SSPX?
What he writes.
Okay.
So the Dominicans in Avrier really praise what he's saying, and Bishop Williamson also praises what he says and his stand. Yeah. And then we read what he says. That's pretty much the same thing as we say, that Pope Francis is a heretic. He calls him Bergoglio, but he's not a sedevacantist either. But he calls a spade, a heretic, a heretic. If you are a heretic, you must be fought until you return to tradition. So he fights the conciliar church, he hates the new mass, he condemns Vatican II. What else do we want?
How long ago? I presume he used to say the new rite at some point.
Thanks to Francis, his eyes opened. It's a Macaric scandal in the US. When he was papal nuncio, there was a cover-up for pedophilia, and that gave him a shock. He realized that they were after the Catholic. They wanted to destroy the Catholic Church. He saw a willful intent to destroy the Catholic Church. And so he realized that Vatican II is also the self-demolition of the Church. The new Mass is also the demolition of the Church, and the new everything else. So things fell into their place, and then he realized that he was very late in the fight. So he's trying to catch up by being as loud as he can, louder than Bishop Williamson even now.
So sorry if everyone else already knows this, but is his consecration and his ordination?
Well, he's done the necessary. That's all I can say. Yeah, the necessary has been done. Yeah, so. And then he he uses his weight, because Bishop Williamson is very nice. We like him very much, but he has the weight that corresponds to our circles. Whereas Vigano, we are flanking the enemy with Vigano. Yeah. Perhaps next time I come to Europe, I'll visit Archbishop Vigano, hopefully, and pay my respects to him and congratulate him for his courage and speaking loud, you know, bishing around, doing what a bishop does. And it's you could say it's a major breakthrough this year. That's the best news of the year as far as we are concerned. This is what we are praying for. This is how the crisis will end, by the return to tradition. We always talked about a return to tradition. And so in Archbishop Vigano we have what we desire. We lament the fact that the Society of St. Pius X does not rejoice with us. They should rejoice at the return to tradition of a Novus Ordo bishop who is condemning in a strongest term Freemasonry and Vatican II and liberalism, the new Mass, the new code, everything is saying the traditional breviary is restored the liturgy entirely, is wearing the habit, and is active, is bringing priests over to tradition. He is asking Strickland to stand, to stay, and take care of his flock in Texas. Well, Strickland won't listen, you know, he still says the new Mass. Strickland is a nice man, but Strickland is missing the Vigano dimension. Because what we do, we've been thrown out to the desert because we want to destroy Carthage. Carthage must be destroyed. The Council of Vatican II, that's our goal, must be anathematized, declared as heretical, as conciliable, I would say that in English. I don't remember the expression. An abusive council, which is not just tainted with heresy, but heretical. You have at least 2 documents in Vatican II that are utterly heretical. It's Nostra Aetate on religious liberty, which is word for word a contradiction in terms with the syllabus, Pius IX, which is infallible, and Nostra Aetate. Now, maybe you haven't read Vatican II. Now it's time to read Vatican II. Don't read the whole thing. Just read Nostra Aetate. It's only 6 pages. You Google Nostra Aetate, you read those 6 pages. And that's enough for you to see that it is heretical. That it needs to be utterly rejected. So in Archbishop Vigano, we have what we desire. And it really helps the cohesion of the team of priests in Asia, because in Europe the concentration of priests is already much bigger. You know, you got 9 priests here on the British Isles, and then you got across the channel you got all the continentals, and they are already quite something. And then now there is Archbishop Vigano in Italy. So yes. Yes, yeah, and then Bishop Williamson meets him regularly. Yeah. What we see right now with the Vigano, I say it's a crack in the dam. You know. It's a crack in the dam, and Francis is very angry. He's upset. You know, he can't hold his anger when he thinks about us. You know, so he makes offensive declarations regularly. You know. And he calls us many names of birds, you know. But what can he do? It's not going to stop, because they have not been able to be consistent. Because the Jacobin, the radicals, want to smash tradition, like Paul VI wants to smash, forbid, say this new Mass is illegal and everything. Those are the radicals, but you always have the others, the conservative, the Ratzingerians or Vochtilians. They always say, no, if you forbid them, you make a forbidden fruit. and you are making it tempting, and look, they're gonna proceed anyways, and then they're gonna run their operation outside of our control. So if we need to control them, we need to hijack them by being nice to them, getting from them the admission that Vatican II is okay, and that the new Mass is of equal value, and allowing them to go according to their sensibilities. To which the radical reply, no, because if you allow them to say the Latin Mass, they will see the principles that are behind this form of worship. And they will see, those who are honest will see the contradiction. You know. So Monsignor Vac, in this Institute of Christ the King and the others, they don't want to see the contradiction. But honest priests, like the two priests who have just joined us in Australia, see the contradiction. Or Vigano sees that there is an utter contradiction between the two. And so they reject the Novus Ordo. And this is what Francis points to. He says, look, they are rejecting us. They are rejecting Vatican II. But the others, they are right also. If you forbid and if you squash, you're also contradicting your notion of religious liberty, your liberalism. You are not so nice, actually. You say you want to welcome everybody, embrace everybody, reject no one and everything, be nicey, and then you look at what you're doing. So there is an inside contradiction which is taking place. So right now we are in a return of the Jacobins, and they are the open murderers of souls. Yeah. But is such a heretic, Francis is such a heretic, that when he tells you don't do it, then you know it's according to the faith to do the opposite of what he says. So he's pointing much against his will. He's pointing in the right direction. And the things are very clear. People can know very clearly that there is a crisis in the church. Because on the bottle it's written arsenic in large characters, you know, which was in the past, you know, it was written whiskey, and then you had a little character, you know, may contain drops of arsenic. You know. That was in the past. But with Francis, things are so clear. So I want to be grateful to him for sending more priests and making things very clear.